Good evening, fifth graders. Hopefully you had a good day at school today. Let's take a look at tonight's lesson. Tonight we're going to be working with addition and subtraction number stories. So we have to read a little bit, not much today, don't worry about it. But we're going to be reading a little bit and then solving some problems. Before we get going with that, let's just kind of review expanded notation. Let's take a look right here. We have 1 and 6/10. The reason why I read it as 6/10 is the 6 is in the tenths place. We have 1 plus 0.6. You could write that as 1.0 plus 0.6 as well. No worries. Take a look at the next one here. We'll change colors. We have 5 plus 0.4. Move in here. We have 1, actually this is a 10, right? Plus 6 plus 0.3. Right here we have 7 plus 0.1 plus 0.02. Remember, it's every single place value in expanded notation. This should be really easy stuff, so please make sure you're taking your time on it. Let's take a look at this one. We have 40 plus 2 plus 0.01. Remember, when the 0 is right here, you don't have to do plus 0. Okay, we already know it's 0 plus 0.01. Next one here, we got 20 plus 8 plus 0.6 plus 0.09. Let's see if there's any other ones on here that might be kind of tricky. Let's jump down to 401 and 309 thousandths. Okay, the reason why it's thousandths is because this 9 right here is in the thousandths place. So we have the number 400. Let's see if I can expand this page a little bit. There we go. 400 plus 1 plus 0.3 plus 0.009. All right, that's a little quick review on expanded notation. All right, I want you to kind of read along with this, pause if I'm going too quickly. But today we're working with number sentences. There's some things you need to remember and some things you need to keep track of here. Number sentences are similar to language sentences, except they use math symbols instead of words. Some of the number sentences, some number sentences are true and some are false. Let's take a look at the first one. 10 minus 2 equals 8. Obviously that's a true number sentence because 10 minus 2 is 8. This next one, this symbol right here means divide. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. This symbol right here, we haven't gone over it yet this year, but I know you've gone over it in the past, means greater than, because I always kind of look at it as a crocodile eating the bigger amount of food. They're saying 4 is greater than 4 times 100, which is 400. Okay, that's obviously false because we know 4 is not bigger than 400. Let's kind of keep on moving here. Number sentences that contain a variable are called open number sentences. When they use this word variable, don't get confused, okay? Variable is pretty easy. Variable just means we're going to be putting a letter in there. Open sentences are neither true nor false. Only when we replace the variable with a number do we get a number sentence that is either true or false. This is what they mean by that. See, this is a variable. This is A. So we're kind of working a little bit with algebra today. Algebra means we're throwing some letters into our work. 10 times 3 equals A. Well, we know A would equal 30. But in this open number sentences, whenever you see this open, we're kind of leaving it open to possibilities, right? So we're going to leave it so we don't have the number in the place, we just have a letter. 63 plus C equals 7. Well, we know C would equal, or my bad, equals 70. We know C would equal 7. I'm sorry, I kind of jumped ahead there. A number sentence must have a relation symbol. This is very important. In order for it to be a number sentence, it needs to have a relation symbol. And that means a less than, a greater than, or an equal sign. It needs to have one of those to be a number sentence. It must also have a numbers and operation symbols. That's these down here. So when you start working on your assignment tomorrow at school, and if you don't remember what a relation symbol is, just keep track. It needs to be able to tell you what's going on. Is it greater than? Is it less than? Is it equal to? Operation symbols means, are we going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? Okay. Keep these little tips in mind. You know where to kind of go back to this video if you need help. Let's keep on rolling here. Now we're going to take a look at a few problems today. I really kind of want you to see how we work through these problems. Next page. Technical difficulties, kids. I'm sorry. There we go. What does it mean to be a good problem solver? A good problem solver is someone who has learned ways to organize information to find a solution. When he or she is not sure how to get the correct answer, problem solving involves creativity. People think differently, and there usually is more than one way to solve most problems. All right, so these are the steps to finding number stories, okay? First of all, we have to understand the problem. And that means, what do you know? After you read it, what are you trying to find out? It's kind of like science a little bit, right? What's the purpose of your science fair project? That's kind of the same topic. 2, plan what you want to do. Are you going to be adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? You're going to carry out the plan. So how are you going to solve the problem? Then you're going to look back and check your work. Please remember to always check your work on these problems. Let's take a look at the first one here. These are all practice problems. They're not going to be in your homework. So let's take a look here. It says breakfast. At breakfast, the temperature outside was 47 degrees Fahrenheit. By lunchtime, the temperature was 63 degrees Fahrenheit. How many degrees warmer was it by lunchtime? Okay. We know that it started off at 47. It ended at 63. We want to know what the gap is in between. So this is how you write the open number sentence. Remember, when we see this keyword open number sentence, we have to put a letter in there. I'm going to use the letter A in this situation, so that way we don't, if I use the letter T, it's going to look too much like a plus symbol. So we start with the number 47, because that's what it started with in the beginning of the day. And then we ended with the number 63, right? Because that's what it was at lunchtime. So then we have to find out what 47 plus A equals to get to 63. I know some of you are probably thinking, well, Mr. Green, why don't we just go 63 minus 47? Well, we're not in the future, right? We started off at 47. That's how number sentences work. You have to kind of just see how the problem words it, write the number sentence so that but when you solve, you're going to go ahead and go on your scratch paper 63 minus 47. Okay, I can't take 7 from 3, so this becomes a 13. This 6 becomes a 5. I'm going to go ahead and subtract. I have 16. My solution means my number. My answer would be 16, and then we'll go degrees Fahrenheit. So you're right, once you try and solve the problem, you have to subtract. But when you're writing your number sentence, write it as how it's worded. So let's kind of keep on going here. Let's see another example. I'm not quite sure why I got a huge box here. That is frustrating. All right, well, we'll keep going anyways. Sorry, kids. All right. Next problem here. Mary had $32.50 in her savings account. After she withdrew some money, she had $17.25 left. How much money did she have to withdraw? Withdraw means to take out. So we started off with $32.50. We ended with $17.25. So I'm going to start with $32. Withdrew means to subtract subtract an amount of money, and we ended with $17.25. You see why I'm not subtracting the 17.25? Because that's what we ended with. You see how the problem's worded? She had $17.25 left. So this is where my variable goes. We'll just put another A here, okay? But when I'm solving the problem, I have to go $32.50 minus $17.25 to find my variable. Work it out different color. This has to be a 10. This has to be a 4. I'm going to go ahead and subtract. I have a 5. I have 2. I'm going to bring down my decimal. I can't take 7 from 2, so this becomes a 12. This becomes a 2. I have a 5, and I have a 1. So my solution is 15.25. Answer with my unit is $15.25. Okay. Not quite sure why I have a box there, but we can kind of work around it. The school library has 486 fiction books and 321 nonfiction books. How many books does the library have in all? See, in this situation, we don't know what the ending is, right? So we're going to go ahead and start with 486 plus 321 because they want to know how many books there are in all equals, we'll put B for books. You see why the variable has the end on this one? Because we're trying to add up to it. We're trying to see what the problem is asking. What do they want to find out? How many books there are in all. So we don't know what the ending one is. Right here on this one, we knew what the ending amount was. At the very top at lunchtime, we knew, what was this? A 63 was the ending. In this situation, we don't know what the ending is. But on the side of our paper, we're going to go ahead and work it out. 486 plus 321. Add it up. We got a 7, 10, 8. 807. Solution is 807. Solution just means number, right? My answer is 807 books. All right, I know I'm almost at the 11-minute mark, so hang in there. I'm going to do one more together here because this one's pretty important as well. I'm going to kind of extend the page here so we have some room. We'll go through it quickly, kids. Mrs. Snow is 49 years old. Her son Kevin is celebrating his 24th birthday today. Mrs. Snow is 6 years older. Mr. Snow is 6 years older than Mrs. Snow. How old was Mrs. Snow when Kevin was born? All right. Is there some information here that's not important? We want to know how old was Mrs. Snow when Kevin was born. You're going to see some problems tomorrow in school where they're going to give you some information that's not important. I'll tell you one thing. I don't really care that Mr. Snow was 6 years older than Mrs. Snow. Good for them. That's not important when trying to solve this problem. What we're trying to find out is how old was Mrs. Snow when Kevin was born? Mrs. Snow was 49 years old. Kevin is 24 years old. We want to know how old she was when Kevin was born. Let's put a K here. See how that works? We're trying to find the answer of how old Kevin was or how old Mrs. Snow was when Kevin was born. All right, let's take a look here. We got 49 minus 24. 5, and we have a 2. Mrs. Snow was 25 years old. All right, hopefully these problems kind of made sense. While we're going through, the problems are going to be pretty simple. They're going to ask you things like, what are you trying to find out? What numbers are important? As you can tell here, the 6 years isn't important in this situation. But I think you'll be just fine with this. Sorry the video got a little bit longer today, but I just wanted to provide you with 4 different types of problems. All right, I'll see you in school tomorrow.